Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Prep Show. I am Justin. If you are new to the show, welcome. If you're returning, thank you. We are finally excited to be able to make a big announcement this evening, something we've been looking forward to for quite a while. And before we get into that, though, I do want to bring in a very special guest, Homestead Jan. How are you?
Hey, I'm excellent.
Starting early, huh?
Oh, right out the gate.
Well, welcome to the show. We talked briefly before we hit record. I've got an audience of preppers and homesteaders, and a lot of preppers that want to move into homesteading. And we've had a garden for years, but we're looking to take a few steps further into that lifestyle and become a little more self reliant. And um, I found you, but I don't want to give too much away. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us about Rent the Chicken?
You bet. I'm Homestead Jen, co-founder of Rent the Chicken. My husband and I started, we hatched Rent the Chicken in 2013. And we've been helping people get started with backyard hens for fresh eggs without the long-term commitment. This is our 10th year in business. We are so stoked to be able to help so many people just get their feet wet with backyard chicken keeping. It really is a great step from gardening to backyard chicken keeping. It's a good step in the progression of homesteading.
Awesome. So exactly what do you guys do?
We provide a portable chicken coop with 2 to 4 egg-laying hens for a 6-month rental, typically from spring until fall. And 2 chickens lay about a dozen eggs a week. 4 chickens lay about 2 dozen eggs a week. And we also provide the feed with the rental. Most important, well, aside from the chickens, that's pretty important, but most important in addition to that is that you get chicken friends. So we are here to answer the phone and respond to emails and text messages with any support related questions that we can help with. So it's a great partnership where we have partnered with farmers and homesteaders across the USA and Canada to offer our service. Our motto, our mission, if you will, is families helping families. So each of our affiliate partners are helping families to participate in our program. So let me tell you about the portable chicken coop. It's cute. Most of them look like a little barn. There's wheels on them and they are moved once a day. It allows the chickens to feel like they're free ranging, but they're super protected by the chicken coop. It also makes it so there's not a dead spot, not a buildup of droppings. So that helps keep the chance of odors to a minimum. We do allow and recommend for our renters to let the chickens out of the coop, but we want someone responsible to be outside with them. That acts as a protection barrier, particularly against overhead predators like hawks. And also, if our renters always put the chickens back in the coop when they're ready to go back in the house, there's never a chance of forgetting to lock them in at nighttime, and that's when the other predators come out. Everything wants chicken for dinner, and all we want is some breakfast, Justin.
So you guys, I want people to really understand, like, if you're thinking about chickens, there's a whole lot to think about, and there's really a
Right.
whole lot of stuff you have to get. You guys are
Mhm.
kind of a one stop shop. I mean, when y'all bring stuff out, you pretty much have everything you need.
That's right. We're providing the coop, the hens, water dish, feed dish. We provide a bit of bedding to get you started, and I'll talk about why we don't supply a lot of bedding. The bedding is what goes in the nesting box where the chickens lay their eggs, and so many of our renters compost, and I'm sure a lot of your viewers also, if they're not currently composting, they're well on their way because composting is right in line with homesteading. So we provide a bit of bedding, pine shavings, straw, grass clippings can be used. There are some neat nesting box pads on Amazon too, but they're neat and they're nice. But I know that not everybody wants to, shop big box, and that's okay too. Um, if we supplied a big bundle of bedding, and it's not what you want to use, then you have this big bundle going to waste. where and some of our renters just don't have the space for something else really big to keep in their home or their shed or whatnot. And so because it's so personal, we just give a bit of bedding to get you started. But we do supply the feed that should last the whole time. Now, it might not last if you guys are heavy-handed feeders.
So you guys are all over the place. You
Mhm.
have, how many affiliates do you have across the country?
We just signed on a couple more in the last 2 weeks, so we're pushing 30. But we can, and apologies for that noise. We're hatching, not hatching, we're incubating some eggs. So the incubators are rotating and beeping and motoring over there. We can service more than 50 major markets across the USA and Canada.
And all of those locations are listed on y'all's website, and
That's correct.
everything is linked down in our description. All of Rent the Chicken's info. So, how does the process work, kind of start to finish? Let's just cover the whole season.
Yeah, so we make it so easy. Like people tell us, I can't believe it's this easy. So we accept a deposit, a non-refundable deposit to lock in the rental. We want to make sure we have coops and chickens reserved for each renter. So the deposit is placed either online, rentthechicken.com, or give us a shout. From there, we mail a copy of a book. In the States, it's Fresh Eggs Daily by Lisa Steele. And let me tell you, Lisa Steele really loves her chickens. She's a little bit passionate about her, a lot passionate about her chickens. And so we always say, just pay close attention to the pages that talk about the herbs and vegetables that are good for the chickens and plants and not good for the chickens. And then just enjoy the rest of the book from there. She talks about hand sewing nesting box curtains and making a warm breakfast for the chickens on a chilly morning. And those are above and beyond. That is not necessary, but she also has great home remedies for some ailments, which I think that your viewers would have a great appreciation for. So the deposit is made, and then we send an invoice for the rental, which is paid closer to at delivery, which will be in April or May. When we deliver, we either provide an in-person tutorial or a video tutorial. And again, we're available for any questions. I don't think I said the funniest thing that we say. If it's not a good fit, you can chicken out and we'll pick up everything and take them back.
And that is a big deal.
It is a big
I
deal.
know
Yeah.
when we were, and our big announcement, guys, we haven't really made it yet. Is we've partnered with Rent the Chicken, and our coop and our hens is on the way this coming Saturday. So you're probably seeing it right now on the podcast. So we're excited, and the issue that finding you guys solved for me is, what if I get them and don't like them? I've made a huge investment.
Mhm.
Now I've got livestock, and you'd have to be able to find a place for that and sell things. And
Yeah.
for us, it's a good test drive, to kind of get our feet wet a couple of hens at a time. So
That's right.
we're
Yeah.
super excited.
Yeah.
The
Excited. He'll catch on.
exactly. What happens if during the rental, these folks fall in love with their hens?
Oh, they probably will. They can, there's a few options at the end of the rental. They can adopt the hens with the coop or without the coop. They can, at that point, build or buy a coop to meet their needs, because they've had months with our coop to know what they like, what they don't like, about the coop, about the chickens. And also they can adopt, like I said, with the coop. Another option is if they're not quite ready for long-term chickens, we can winter their chickens for them, and then they can rent or adopt the following spring. Or, I mean, they can just be out. But even if they can fall in love with their hens and say, this was a good experience, we are not ready for chickens yet. We know in the future we'll be ready, but in this moment, some people live in an urban setting and it's just not great for long-term chickens. They're ready when they're ready to move. We've had that happen. When they're ready to move, they're all in. They already have their education. They don't have to wait till they move to a piece of property to get the education on backyard chicken keeping, to move to that next step.
And another benefit of using Rent the Chicken is chicken friends.
Yeah, we're here for sure. We've been at this a long time. We can answer the questions, provide some guidance, and be available, chitter chatter on about chickens. It's what we do all day, every day. So we have a second product line called Hatch the Chicken, and that is a 5-week hatching rental. It allows families, daycares, senior care facilities, even libraries to participate in hatching baby chicks. So the eggs are in the incubator for 3 weeks. The incubator is about the size of a volleyball, so not large, but it is amazing. The commitment is to add water every 2 to 3 days. It automatically rotates the eggs, adjusts the temperature, and adjusts the humidity. So we provide a candling light where you shine the light onto the egg and look for signs of life. So it's like an ultrasound, but you can look for a heartbeat or as they get bigger, a leg kick or a wing moving. It's really quite amazing. Once the chicks all hatch and they're all dry, they're moved to the cage that we provide, which has a heat source, feed dish, water dish, bedding, and feed. And so we provide some curriculum, and the families or teachers can use as much or as little. We do have some coloring sheets, which are fun too for the little ones. And it's just amazing because as a society, we've done great things to, adopt pets from a shelter, and then they're fixed so we're not reproducing and having loads of cats running all around. And so most families have a cat or a dog that's not going to reproduce. And so in this case, they get to see the miracle of life and keep the babies. Just when they're not as cute, we come by and pick them up and take them back. So it's not a lot of responsibility just on the renter, but they get this great experience of the miracle of life. It's amazing.
Let me do some rapid fire questions off the top of my head. So,
Yeah.
with having chicken friends, what would you say is the most common question you guys get about chicken care or having the chickens while folks are
Sure.
renting from you?
So the most common question is, what happens if? And our coops are super safe. And again, we're asking the renters to move the coop once a day. That helps keep the odors down without a dead spot or a buildup of droppings. If the renter is going to let the chickens out, that's fine. Again, we want them to be safe. If something happens inside the coop to no fault of the renter, we'll replace the hen. We might ask for them to pick up at the farm or the local homestead. If something happens that is outside of the coop, we ask for $30 replacement fee, plus pick up at the farm or the homestead. Otherwise, there will be a transportation fee.
What would
It
your
does
sec-
happen. It's not common,
what
but
would your what would your
yeah.
but the main thing people need to understand is they need to call you guys as soon as something happens.
Yes, for sure. So that we can walk through it, or if the chicken is limping or whatnot. I mean, we have some crazy things happen. Like, you're like, I don't know what happened. Well, I see the picture. I know what happened. I don't
Yeah.
know how you don't know what happened.
What's this?
You know?
What's the second most common question you think?
I'll tell you, egg production. So, we like to provide a half dozen or a 6-pack or 12-pack of eggs at delivery. And this makes it so our renters aren't like looking up the rear end of a chicken waiting for their first egg to come. So it buys us a little bit of time. And
I water glassed mine, by the way, that the day I went out to our local affiliate, she gave me some eggs and we water glassed them.
oh, good. They're amazing, aren't they?
They
Amazing.
are.
Amazing. And so a few things. So chickens and egg production, the chicken feed is important. So we kind of go through some troubleshooting. What else are you feeding the chickens besides the chicken feed? And it's okay to feed them snacks and table scraps and whatnot. Like, they are built-in composters, but half a cantaloupe a day is too much. Okay. Like, it's kind of like, let's scale that back. Maybe a slice of cantaloupe every other day. Let's just scale back a smidge. And so we also have We also talk about water consumption. If a chicken goes without water on a hot day for like an afternoon, it could stunt their egg production for up to 2 weeks. Like it is, as much as feed is important, water is even more important. Something else is, and people think I'm joking when I was like, what does your day look like with the chickens? Like, how long are they outside the coop? And, we've talked, you and I have talked about supervised free range time. I brought it up like a lot of times already. Well, I built this fenced in area, so they just are out there all day and they're really safe. They're not really safe. Okay, do you think maybe you could look under some bushes? Maybe under the deck? Oh, no, they wouldn't lay somewhere else. Okay, so my recommendation is let's lock those ladies up. Listen, I used to be a little more hardcore than I am now. I used to say, lock them up. Don't let them out of the coop for 5 days. Let's really see where they're laying. People don't like that. They're not going to listen to me, I've learned. So I change it to say, let's leave them in the coop till about 4 p.m, because their laying time is through then. Like they're done laying by that time. And then you can let them out for some supervised free range time. I'm going to say, listen, you don't know how many people call me so surprised. I found like 2 dozen eggs under the bush. I said, you thought I was crazy when I said they might be under a bush. I can't believe they're not laying where they're supposed to. Well, I can, because they thought they'd find a better spot than in the chicken coop since they have all that time outside the coop. So it's usually one of those things. Sometimes there is a case of the chickens eating their eggs, so we have some troubleshooting on that as well.
So you guys, when you guys grow, you normally have the hens, and you can build more coops. But y'all do have a waiting list when things start to run short. So
Yes.
if people are interested right now, what's the timeline? How quick do they need to make a decision on giving you guys a call for everything
Well,
to
depends
happen
on how
like
many
it
people
needs
from
to?
your podcast make a reservation. They
Well,
best get on.
we're gonna talk about you all spring and summer. So
I know it. I know. So, if someone's interested, they really should make their deposit, make their reservation sooner than later, so that they don't have to be on a wait list and hope that we find more chickens or build more coops. So sooner than later, make your reservation. We'll be making deliveries in April and May, depending on the region.
we tell our folks as far as preparedness goes, because we reach out and get a lot of new preppers into it, people that haven't even started yet.
Mm-hmm.
And we try to tell them you got to take baby steps. You can't set these
Can't
huge
do that.
goals and get
Yeah,
to them. You're going to give up. It's going to overwhelm you.
it
And
is.
then you
Yeah,
get a
one
lot of
step
us
at a
preppers
time.
who catch on to we want to become more self reliant, and
Mm-hmm.
we bump into prepper homesteaders. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that Rent the Chicken is a great baby step into having chickens and having your own coop and having a run and
Sure.
having a whole flock. And but it gives you an opportunity to have somebody's hand to hold, some good books to read,
Mm-hmm.
very small to manage, not a whole
That's
lot of
right. Not
issues
overwhelming.
that you can go, hey, this isn't for me at any time, or
Mm-hmm.
at the end of it, go, hey, I like this so much, I want to adopt.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a solution for a whole lot of people. We just
I
got to
think
tell
so.
everybody
Yeah.
about it that doesn't know yet.
Yeah. I think it's going to be great
I
for
do
sure.
too. Would you have any parting words for our folks?
Well, don't forget to follow us on all the socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
We'll
Just
link
do,
all those in the description, guys, so
okay,
you can
yeah,
go
Rent the
right down
Chicken.
below, and they'll all be there.
Oh, great. Yeah. Rentthechicken.com is where you'll find us. And we're super excited for the opportunity. We're happy to answer any questions and get to know our renters. We really, really have great appreciation for families helping families.
Well, it has been a pleasure and nice to finally meet you face to face.
Yeah, and not just popping in for the sound check real quick, right?
Right. Well, stay tuned. There'll be plenty of, like I said, this is going to be a lot of my content for as long as we have the chickens.
Yeah, that sounds great. Looking
I won't
forward
give
to
them
it.
back in 2 weeks. I'll be like, we're gonna push through it. But I'm excited. Excited.
Excited. I knew you'd catch on. Yeah.
Thank you for being with us. I appreciate it. You guys go check out rentthechicken.com. All of their links or resources are at that website. We're going to link everything down here below as well. Be sure you're following us on, especially TikTok. That's where most of the content will be, but you can find us in all the other places too. We'll tell Homestead Phil, it was good to meet him the other day, even though it was brief. And we will talk to you soon, I'm sure.
Okay, sounds good. Take care, everybody. See you.
Bye, guys. Everybody have a good night. Thanks for tuning into the Safe Prep Show.